All right. Hi guys, this is Alex Anist again. A student asked a question about the open dominant seventh chords. So I'm going to do a short video showing each of these chords. And I'm going to start with C7. So I assume you know your C chord. To add the flat 7 to this chord, we're going to add a B flat on the 3rd fret of the G string with our pinky. So now the chord has a C and an E and a B flat and another C and an open E. To make a major chord into a dominant 7th chord, you're adding the flat 7th, which is the note that is a minor 7th above the root. Another way to think about that is it's a whole step lower than the root, but up an octave. So the flat 7th above C is B flat. The flat 7th above G is F, because F is a whole step lower than G. The flat 7th above D is C, and so on. So next chord is G7. You know your G chord. My guitar's not perfectly in tune this morning. I guess it'll be good enough for this video. Now, you're going to get rid of this high G that you have and replace it with an F with your first finger on the 1st fret of the high E string. There's your G7. D7. You have a D chord. D7 is like a mirror image of the D chord, which means you have to completely refinger the chord, okay? You have an open D, an A with your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, a C with your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the B string, and an F sharp on the 2nd fret of the high E string. D7. A7, the note we need to add to the chord is G. So, on the G string with an A chord, you're playing at the 2nd fret. Get rid of that finger. And now you have an open G. Okay, so you have an open A, 2nd fret E, open G, 2nd fret C sharp, open E. All right? E7, start with an E chord. I like to do this by adding my pinky to the 3rd fret of the B string. Okay, now if you can't do that, that's fine. Start with your E chord, get rid of your ring finger, revealing an open D string. So now you have E, 2nd fret B, open D, 1st fret G sharp, open E. I misspoke, open B, open E. That's also an E7. Just notice that it's darker in tone. So you have this E7 and you have this E7. Okay, I like them both. One's not better than the other. One has a darker sound because the 7th is lower by an octave. And you know, when you're looking at different ways to play chords, there's not one way to play any chord. There's tons of ways to play every chord or structure on the guitar or any other instrument. So, you know, it's worth trying to listen closely and understand why something sounds a certain way. Okay, last one I'm going to show you is B7. Now, we're not changing from a B chord to a B7 because, you know, B chord is a bar chord. That's actually more difficult. B7 is easier than B major. So I've got these 3 fingers. They're all on the 2nd fret, skipping a string. So 2nd fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the G string, 2nd fret of the high E. My index finger goes to the 1st fret of the D string. Okay? B7. Now, it's good to have some sort of a sheet. So if you're a student of mine, you probably have access to this one, the basic dominant 7th chords. There are so many resources online regarding chords and chord diagrams. If you don't know how to read a chord diagram, that's another question that I guess I'm going to address in another video that I'm going to make in about 5 seconds. So another video is coming. All right, thank you, and keep practicing.